Can you imagine being in love with racing with a remote control car at the age of 5, only to rise up one day into becoming the best Formula One racer of our generation? You don't have to look very far, as this fits the life of Lewis Carl Hamilton to a T. While he receives his fair share of criticism from the community, the one thing that people cannot take away from him are his achievements, and today we shall be focusing on all of that. Greetings, salutations, and welcome to our channel. Today, we shall be taking a look at the success of Formula One superstar Lewis Hamilton. As always, before we begin, make sure to press that like button and subscribe to support our channel so we can bring you more quality stories like this. Also, if you don't want to miss a single one of our uploads, press the bell notification button and turn on YouTube notifications on your smartphone. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Lewis Hamilton was born to Anthony Hamilton and Carmen LaBellista on the 7th of January 1985. Born to a black father and a white mother, he grew up as a mixed-race child, even though Hamilton identified himself as black. Hamilton faced tragedy at a young age, as his parents separated when he was just 2 years old. Hamilton grew up with his mother and older half-sisters, named Samantha and Nicola. He lived with them until he reached the age of 12, when he moved in with his stepmother, Linda, and his half-brother, Nicholas. Here we get to see an early influence in Hamilton's life when it came to his career that he is known for, as Nicholas grew up to be a professional racing driver as well. We can see Hamilton's earliest entry into the world of racing at the mere age of 5. Hamilton's father, Anthony, bought him a remote-controlled car, which he loved to the point where he even took part in the National British Radio Car Association Championship a year after against adults. Due to him being the only black individual who raced for the club, he faced a lot of racial backlash and abuse, but he persevered as he did not let it affect him. Later on, Hamilton's father even bought him a go-kart for Christmas at the age of 6 and made the promise that he would support Lewis's racing career as long as he did not give up on school. Anthony worked hard, sometimes even taking multiple jobs in order to ensure that Lewis would have everything he needed. However, he also made sure to make it to all of Lewis's races as well. His father ended up acting as Lewis's manager until early 2010. Lewis Hamilton had many interests as a child. He took up karate to defend himself against bullies in school. Racing was not his only extracurricular passion either, as he also played association football for his school with a young Ashley Young, who eventually grew up to be a professional footballer that plays for Series A club Inter Milan. Lewis Hamilton is well known for being an Arsenal fan, as he even claimed that if F1 never worked out for him, he would have tried his hand at football or cricket. After all, he played both for his school teams. Keeping true to the promise that he'd made to his father, he pushed through with his education as well. He began studies at Cambridge Arts and Sciences in February 2001. Now that we know a bit about his history, let's take a look at his career when it comes to car racing. And what better place to start than the years spent in Formula Renault and Formula 3. Lewis Hamilton officially began his car racing career by taking part in the 2001 British Formula Renault Winter Series, where he finished at 5th place. This impressed many as he continued into a full 2002 Formula Renault UK campaign with Manor Motorsport, where he finished in 3rd place in the overall count. He stood with Manor for one more year, where he won the championship. Hamilton, however, stepped away from the last 2 races of the season in order to make his debut in the season finale of the British Formula 3 Championship, where he was unfortunate enough to not be able to finish both of his races due to a puncture and a collision. Even in interviews, Lewis always claimed that his goal was not to be one of the youngest Formula One drivers, but to be the most experienced and to one day prove what he can do in Formula One to the rest of the world. Eventually, Hamilton re-signed with McLaren and made his debut in 2004's Formula 3 Euro Series, where he ended in 5th place in the championship. He even managed to win the Bahrain F3 Super Prix and raced twice in the Macau F3 Grand Prix. Talk about making your name known to the world. Eventually, he even found himself featured as one of the top 50 drivers of 2005 by Autosport, where Lewis was ranked at number 24. Lewis eventually joined ASM's sister GP2 team, ART Grand Prix, for the 2006 season. To the surprise of many, Hamilton managed to win the GP2 championship in his first attempt, where he beat noteworthy racers like Nelson Piquet Jr. and Timo Glock. Of course, his entry into one of the most exciting racing scenes in the world happened after the departure of Juan Pablo Montoya, who decided to make a move from McLaren to NASCAR. McLaren lost another driver by the name of Kimi Raikkonen to Ferrari. While the defending champion Fernando Alonso's position was guaranteed, many people did not know who would fill the slot for the team's second driver. Lewis was in the same bracket with racers like Pedro de la Rosa and Gary Paffett when it came to the consideration for the second driver. However, at the end of September 2007, it was confirmed that Lewis Hamilton would become the team's second driver. Of course, the public was informed of this decision 2 months later, due to the news of Michael Schumacher's retirement being the rampant announcement at the time. Lewis Hamilton finally made his way to the big stage. He found himself partnered with two-time and defending world champion Fernando Alonso. However, Lewis Hamilton was iconic during the time for another reason. Because he was the first, and as of 2021, the only black driver to race in Formula One. In his debut, he manages to finish on the podium, a feat that is impressive from a driver making his first impact on the world of Formula One. Lewis continued on, as he set multiple records and even finished as the runner-up in the 2007 World Drivers' Championship, only losing to Kimi Raikkonen by 1 point. Some of the records that he had set were, for the most consecutive podium finishes from debut, the joint most wins in a debut season, and the most points in a debut season. However, not all was as well as it seemed, as certain incidents that took place caused Alonso and Lewis to not be in the best of terms. Eventually, Alonso ended up terminating his contract with McLaren by mutual consent in November. However, Lewis stayed with McLaren as he was signed to a multi-million-pound contract to stay with the team until 2012. Lewis continued strong in 2008, where he had 5 wins and 10 podium finishes. However, the public was starting to criticize Lewis for his dangerous driving tendencies and arrogant behavior. However, he simply claimed that it was his self-belief rubbing off most the wrong way, and that he drives fairly. It was in this year when Lewis Hamilton made history by winning his Formula One World Championship, becoming the youngest to do so at the time, a record that was later beaten by Sebastian Vettel in 2010. In his last 4 years racing with McLaren, he had trouble performing, as he even lost his crown as the youngest champion to German racer Sebastian Vettel. He vowed to do better in 2012, and he kept true to his word, as he managed to achieve 4 race wins in the 2012 season, finishing 4th in the standings. However, he surprised everyone when he announced that he will be leaving McLaren to join Mercedes for the 2013 season, replacing the retiring Michael Schumacher. When he signed with Mercedes in 2013, many people doubted the move, as the team had no recent history or success. However, he managed to reunite with his childhood karting teammate, Nico Rosberg. In his first season with the Silver Arrow itself, Lewis manages to secure a sole race victory, where he won the Hungarian Grand Prix. In 2014, with new regulations taking place, which involves the use of turbo hybrid engines, Lewis Hamilton had the start of his most successful era yet. Mercedes saw themselves win 16 out of the 19 races that were held that season, with 11 of those races secured by none other than Lewis himself. Eventually, when the new driver number regulations came in 2014, Lewis was asked to pick a unique car number to use for his entire career. He decided to drive under his old go-karting number 44, as a symbol and reminder of where it all began. Lewis Hamilton went ahead and dominated the 2015 season as he won 10 races and finished on the podium, a record number of 17 times. He even managed to match Ayrton Senna's 3 World Championship titles. That same year, Lewis extended his contract with Mercedes for 3 more years, earning him more than £100 million according to sources. This caused him to be known as one of the best paid drivers in Formula One ever. Of course, due to a rivalry that heated up within him and his teammate, Rosberg, there was drama on and off the track. It all came to a climax in 2016, where they both raced in the season finale in Abu Dhabi. Rosberg manages to win the title and beat Lewis. However, he shocked everyone as he announced his retirement from the sport there and then, mere moments after beating his long-term rival in such a dramatic fashion. After Rosberg left the racing scene, Lewis found himself a new rival through Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel. They fought back-to-back in the years 2017 and 2018, with Lewis winning the title in both years. In 2018, Lewis signed an extended 2-year contract with Mercedes once more, which was reported to be worth up to £40 million per year. This caused him to be cemented as the best-paid Formula One driver in history. His racing career took a huge impact due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but in 2020, he managed to equal his previous personal best of 11 wins. He also managed to take 14 podiums and 10 pole positions. Due to Lewis's amazing performance, he even managed to sign another contract with Mercedes in 2021, ensuring that he's going to be racing with the team throughout this year as well. We finally reached the end of our video. If you wish to see more videos like this, subscribe to our channel and press that bell button to get an update every single time we post a new video. Make sure to like this video and share it with your friends and family. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.